All right, everybody, what's going on? We are back with more of the Loud House Lincoln is Dumb fan fiction, and we are going to get into it right now. There we go. So, this is Lincoln is Dumb, Chapter 2. After running away from the house, Lincoln Lincoln went straight to the airport to purchase a ticket to Kyrgyzstan, whatever. Given the fact that he was an unaccompanied minor trying to fly without a passport, you'd naturally think that he'd have some trouble obtaining a ticket. And once again, you'd be wrong. You're 0 for 2 so far. Step it up a little. As it turned out, the airport staff were so touched and heartbroken by Lincoln's stop story about his demonic sisters that they gave him a free first class ticket to Bishkek, the capital of whatever Stan. And as soon as he boarded, the whole plane stood up and applauded him for his courage and righteous Deuteronomy. But we'll come back to him later. For now, let's get back to the Loud House. By now, Lola had made a complete recovery from her beating at Lincoln's hand because this is a cartoon and that's how they roll. That didn't mean she was able to escape punishment, however, for provoking Lincoln and messing up the carpet. She was sent straight to her room and had her food privileges suspended for a week. That seems like cartoon parent logic right there, so that's not good. That'd be ordinary. As for the rest of the sisters, their reactions for Lincoln's departure varied. The sister most visibly affected by it was Lucy, who was seen crouched in the corner shedding tears of blood while stabbing herself repeatedly with a butcher knife and screaming, "I clogged the toilet, I clogged the toilet." They always, these types of fanfictions always mention that episode, Salute Their Consequences, that's what it's called. And yeah, that's why that's always there. Others were left in similar states of despair. Lenny, with tears running down her face, regular tears, that is, not blood tears, have to make that clear, was frantically trying to call the police in the hopes that they would catch Lincoln before he got on the plane. Unfortunately, she kept forgetting what she was calling them for right after she dialed it when as she told the authorities that she wanted McNuggets. That's going to get her some years in prison. Her request went unfulfilled. Luann, Dawn up. I think she spelled Dawn wrong. I think he spelled Dawn wrong. And clown makeup was performing a full-length acapella is one word, version of Pigliacci because she's physically incapable of doing anything that's not at least tangibly related to her hobby. Lana had retreated back to her room to cry and berate Lola for being such a filthy little harlot. Lisa was using her laptop to try to track down Lincoln's location, pausing every now and then to maul at the top of her lungs to remind the house that she's not usually a fan of human emotions or whatever. Finally, Lily was crying as babies were wont to do. But Lynn, compared to the rest of the family, was unmoved by Lincoln's rash decision to rage quit the family. Rage quit, that's great. She could be found reclining on the family's couch with her feet on the coffee table, smirking and drinking a tall, refreshing glass of Pepsi. Hey, when that fudge packing little twink bitch comes back, tell him I want a foot massage, she sneered, and also tell him I'll beat the shit out of him if he doesn't come to my next football game. How dare you speak about Lincoln that way, shrieked Lucy as she continued to stab herself. She's actually very strong. She's still able to talk like that after stabbing herself, let alone scream. He died for our sins. You're going to hell. Hell. While all that was going on, Lori drifted around the living room from sister to sister, trying to use her authority to calm them down. Sadly, her cries of self-mutilation isn't going to bring him back. I'm sure if we put our heads together, we can figure out why he's been acting like this. And Lynn, you're not helping, fell on deaf ears. But there was another person that they would listen to. A raspy roar of quiet rang out from the top of the stairwell, causing everyone else in the house to clam up. Down from the second floor came the wise, honorable Luna Loud, who greeted every single one of her sisters with a scolding glare. Honestly, the other sisters were a bit surprised that Luna hadn't shown herself sooner. It was common knowledge that she loved Lincoln more than any of them. She was recognized as not only Lincoln's closest sister, but also as his best friend, his mentor, his guardian angel, his wingman, and his senpai, whatever. For you see, months prior, she took him to a smooch concert and did everything in her power to make it one of the best nights of his life. This set her apart from the other sisters, who never shared a single heartwarming moment with Lincoln ever. All of you should be ashamed of yourselves, she boomed. Lincoln does nothing but sacrifice his joy for you and make your lives extraordinary, and all you do in return is is, she jabbed an accusatory finger at Lori. Eat his sandwiches. Lori flinched at the venom in Luna's voice. It was just a sandwich, she cried, and I didn't think this was even about the sandwich. There's clearly a bigger underlying issue here. Oh, you've got that right, Luna growled. That issue is your constant, unrelenting reign of bitch over him. And Lola's and Lenny's, I guess, but mostly yours. You eat his sandwiches, tease him, threaten to beat him up, and worst of all, you call him a twerp. Everyone in the room cringed at the delivery of that last word, which was roared like a death metal vocalist doing an imitation of the MGM lion. Okay, I'll admit that I pick on him every now and then, but I think you're being a little unfair, Luna. As if, snapped Luna. I don't think you've ever done a single nice thing for him in your life. What about that time I bought him the cereal he really wanted? That doesn't count. Well, what about that time I gave him all those freebies at Gus's Games Grub? Neither does that. What about that time I gave him his first taste of ice cream when he was a baby? Neither does that. Okay, then enlighten me, said Lori, folding her arms. What does count as being nice to Lincoln? Taking him to a rock concert starring his favorite band on June 6, 2016. Luna said matter-of-factly. Have you ever done that, Lori? Well, no, Lori was cut off when Luna stomped up to her and gave her a harsh slap across her face. Point proven, dude. You're a rotten, bitter little cunt who doesn't deserve a little brother as awesome as Lincoln. I don't know if I'd call Lincoln awesome. I mean, he's fine and all, but awesome? I think you're being a bit fishy. I think you're being a bit ridiculous there, Luna. Lori snarled at her, clutching her aching cheek. Well, what about you? She cried. Don't act like you've never done anything bad to him. Remember the Sharon Demone incident? I heard you blast him out of your room with your amp. In retrospect, it wasn't the greatest example of Luna's misbehavior. After all, they were all guilty of acting violently towards each other in search of the money, and none of them targeted Lincoln exclusively. Actually, I kind of liked that episode. It was kind of funny, but it was the best that Lori could come up with off the top of her head. Unfortunately, Luna had a retort prepared, a rather unusual one at that. She stripped off her shirt, tossed it over the couch, and did an about face, giving Lori a perfect view of her bare back. To her shock, Luna's back was covered from top to bottom with long, deep crisscross scars. Oh my God. See this? She seethed, pointing to one of the scars across her lats. That's latissimus dorsi, I believe. This is the scar I left when I punished myself that night for blasting him. 120 lashes. Jesus, that 120? I counted. Lori had to suppress the urge to gag at such a grisly sight. I'm not sure if he spelled that right either. I've heard multiple spellings for it. Luna, you really shouldn't be doing that. It's not healthy. Luna snorted. Yeah, you would say that, you demented slut. But unlike you, I believe in making sacrifices for my little brother. Not like that, cried Lori. How does that even help him? You think he wants you to whip yourself every time you do something wrong? He works in mysterious ways, cried Luna. You know that if you loved him like I do. Bitch, I heard enough out of both of you. Lincoln left cause he was sick of living with two skanky trifling hoes who don't know how to shut the fuck up for more than 5 seconds at a time. Y'all motherfuckers better get your shit together and find a way to get Lincoln to stop tripping before I drag both of you out of this house by your dirty ass weeds, said Lily. Well, Lori and Luna realizes that the inexplicably lucid infant was right. So the two of them gathered around Lisa's laptop, waiting for her to pinpoint Lincoln's location. They were soon joined by the rest of her sisters, aside from Lola, who was grounded in her room, Lillian, who was busy improvising a song about Lincoln, and Clyde engaging in biblically unspeakable acts. If you're wondering where the parents were during this, I really wasn't. They had used up all their energy for the day by grounding Lola and were now treating themselves to a well-deserved extended nap. But rest assured, they'd be up as soon as there was a sister in need of some punishment. Probably Lola. Yep, and that was chapter 2. Very fun, very interesting. But this is not the end of our adventure with this fanfiction, because there are 4 more chapters to go, and I'm going to take you through every single one of them, whether you like it or not. And you know why? Because I want you to have fun. We're going to have fun together. All right, well, until then, I'll see you later. Be safe, everybody.